Howdy Earthlings, you might have seen my short on learning the Major Arcana, and you learned a little bit about the Fool and other Major Arcana. This is an in-depth version of that video, so you're in the right place to learn more. The Fool is probably the most recognizable card in Tarot. There's a lot of reasons why this is. In media such as the Persona series, the lead is always the Fool Arcana, and everyone they meet is the other Major Arcana. The reason this is because in Persona, the lead is a blank slate for you to be projected onto. You can project your personality onto the lead, or it can represent how the lead is someone who is supposed to grow throughout the rest of their journey. They start ignorant, but open to their adventure and calling, and on that horizon, just off that cliff, is an entire world of options to explore. You can go anywhere, do anything, and the Fool just happily and blindly walks off that cliff without a care in the world just before plummeting and getting in over their head. So already with just that comparison, you can get a big feel for what the Fool means. It means the start of your journey and the infinite possibilities ahead of you. But it also means ignorance, blind faith, excitement, looking to the future, but not looking where you're going. But there's a lot more that you can interpret here than just that. Let's start by studying the card, and depending on your deck, your Fool card may look different. But in many tarot decks, the Fool remains unchanged, because it's kind of the perfect symbolism already. The Rider-Waite-Smith deck really nailed this personification of these issues, though some decks do change out the RWS Major Arcana for their own set. For example, in my recently unboxed Amy Rose's Fortune deck, they completely changed the Major Arcana, so the Fool is actually called Travel There. Each deck has different artists, and some will choose to do different things. So if you've been intuitive reading up until this point, you may get different meanings than I do, and that's fine. We all interpret art differently. Some decks like RWS and Tot have defined meanings because they were made very deliberately by their creators and artists. Aleister Crowley was particularly picky about the art for the Tot deck, and had some cards redrawn multiple times. So you can intuit meanings by describing what you see, but you'll get a deeper meaning by studying the card's symbology and their history. But some don't want to study, and that's cool too. I get it. Even if each of these videos was only 5 minutes long, that's still 7 hours of videos. I think this is why Oracle decks have become so popular. They don't follow the same rules of RWS or Tot, but by studying RWS or Tot, you can improve your Oracle deck readings too, because you can get used to seeing symbolism and translating it into, words. So the cards can be much more creative, and you can get away with whatever you want in Oracle decks. Anyway, this is the Fool from the RWS Tarot. So what do we see in the Fool card? Well, first off, the card is the number 0. The Fool has no inherent value. Note that no other card in the RWS Tarot is labeled with a 0. They can be anything or anyone. They're entirely a blank slate. Before the RWS deck, the Fool wasn't numbered at all, further leaning into that blank slate idea. Other decks labeled the Fool as number 22, making them the final card. This interpretation could lean into the Fool representing the beginning, and when one cycle ends, a new one begins. So, effectively, the Fool may as well be the last card or the first card. It doesn't matter. Either way, it means beginning anew. Next, the cliff cuts short just before the feet of the traveler, and that means a big tumble should the Fool continue forward without care. They aren't looking where they're stepping, they're going to walk off that cliff without even knowing it was there. This can mean blind faith, confidence, or ignorance. They don't care where they're going. Their little dog seems to be pretty playful too, so the Fool might even be playing with their dog, or perhaps their dog is warning them. But notice that the Fool is essentially alone. There's no one for miles, and no one is there to stop them from going off that cliff. The Fool has a bindle, it's that pack on the end of the stick, and is carrying very lightly. So the Fool hasn't bought into materialism, or doesn't have much material goods in the first place. They haven't built up any sort of wealth, and in tarot, things like passion, emotions, and truth have physical forms. These are represented by the minor arcana, wands, cups, pentacles, and swords. So that they're carrying light is an indicator that they're inexperienced, or that they're hiding their experience. In the back is lots of mountains representing the potential and all the places that the traveler could go. The traveler is androgynous, which works because the Fool is going to be a lot of different people on just this one journey. The white rose represents purity, innocence, and new beginnings, which is why it's so popular at weddings. Overall, this whole card shouts, I'm on an adventure, and I don't care where it takes me. In the upright position, this card could mean ignorance, the start of something new, potential, and in reverse position, it would mean you need to be careful, watch what you're doing, and stop being so careless. You're being reckless and impulsive. You're not paying attention to the things you do before you do them. Stop and think a moment or two before you continue. So in a read for love, I would think this person is experiencing new, intense emotions and is excited, but they're not taking the relationship as seriously as they should be. They run the risk of falling head over heels off of a cliff more than in love. In a business sense, I would say they're more excited by the prospect of this new thing than they are by the actual thing itself, meaning they could be more excited of the idea of a new business opportunity and and should do more research into whether that business idea is even worth it in the first place. If I drew this in regards to someone thinking about a potential partner, I would say that the potential partner might be feeling anxious or is new to these emotions, and maybe the querent, the person asking for the reading, should be a little more gentle and patient with them. Talk things through, be clear about your intentions. Don't let them continue this journey without knowing what's ahead. Relationships, especially new ones, can be exciting and passionate, but consider whether the person is a good long-term fit for you, or if you even want long-term. Figure out whether the person has the same intentions as you. It'd really suck if you walked off this cliff thinking you found true love when they only wanted something quick. Maybe in another relationship example, this person seems rather serious. Well, then you could say that this person isn't taking the time to have fun. They're not enjoying themselves because they aren't letting themselves enjoy themselves. Have a little fun. There could be anything on the other side of this, and sometimes danger can be fun. But we all know things happen in a cycle. The Fool has already reached the top of their mountain, and the next adventure is beginning. Maybe it's not a time for caution yet. Maybe it's time to enjoy your success and breathe in all that beautiful scenery. So remember, upside, it's the start of something new and exciting, and it's okay to be a little foolish about it. Have fun, explore, try something new to you. But listen to your heart, and if something feels off, it might be time for caution. Reversed, you've already stepped off that cliff, and it's time to figure out how to fix it. You've wandered off the beaten path, and instead of a shortcut, you got lost. Retrace your steps and find your way back to the path. Regardless of position, be careful. Now, if we take Waite's description, the one who commissioned the deck to be made, the Fool means folly, mania, extravagance, intoxication, delirium, frenzy, and bewrayment. These are all pretty negative traits, showing that even in an upright position, many tarot cards have negative meanings too. Folly meaning a lack of sense. Mania, frenzy, delirium, intoxication meaning a crazed or unstable state. Extravagance meaning fancy or extra, and bewrayment meaning revealing a secret or to betray. Reversed, he said the Fool means negligence, which is acting without care or ignoring your surroundings. Absence, distribution, carelessness, apathy, because not caring can be as bad as caring badly. Nullity, as in voiding other things, and vanity, as in being too prideful in yourself or your appearance. In just 115 years, our modern opinions of this card are very different than the creator's original intent. While what we've intuited is close, the original meanings are much less positive. The major arcana are easy to read though. Just keep the general big picture in mind, then remember the details as you see them and work them into the story that the tarot is trying to tell you. And that's it. But before we go, a quick thank you to the patrons on patreon.com/SarahsThings. Thanks to them, I can continue to make videos on all my interests. Thanks to them, I can keep making gaming videos as well as make channels like this where I talk about the other stuff I like. You can support me and the channel for just $1 a month by joining the Patreon. So thanks again to Firework Penguin, Momentary Unicorn, Aurora the Puppy Moth, Sly, Nat, Paper, Marius, Yeenie, Worm Syrup, Rask, Ver, Beef, Bait, Sly Again, Colorado Blue, Vaderson, Linky, Fisoku, Linky Again, Spikejack, and Malding Brick. I'll see you all later. I have to go read 1 million tiny tarot pamphlets.